Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing our next new releases video, and the week of the the 23rd. We're doing the books that are coming out the week of the 23rd, almost to the end of January. It's a bit crazy. When I was doing this, I was like, okay, there was some that was coming out at the end of January. This will be this week. No, because it's not the last week, and a lot of them say the 31st, and I'm like, never mind. But we do have some that are exciting this week and some that I had not heard of before but now are on my radar, and one that is very different than what I was expecting. Starting us off this week is a suspense it's like a psychological suspense thriller, and it sounds really cool. I really want to be able to add this to my TBR at some point. But yes, so most of this week's list actually is thrillery suspense. There's a lot of them that sound really cool this week. So, starting us off is The Dead Don't Dream by Megan O'Flynn. It's number 1 in the Mind Games thrillers, which it's the first one out. So there you have a planned series. Okay, wrong direction. Psychologist Maggie Conley didn't just tumble into trouble. She was born into it. Her humanitarian but slightly shady parents had no problem breaking the law when it served the greater good. Helping domestic violence victims escape their abusers by vanishing them over state lines might not be exactly above board, but Maggie knows right and wrong don't always fall within the confines of the law. I feel like that's not the right word there. Obviously, my mouth tried to say something else. So she doesn't immediately panic when her newest client presents with a suspicious set of symptoms. Tristan Sims claims to be a sleepwalker who has no idea what he does in the nighttime hours, though the wounds on his hands and grime beneath his fingernails indicate he's doing anything but resting. He also believes that the police are stalking him and asserts that he made his money peddling the secrets of others. He might be a delusional whack job. It's a clinical term. But her assessment shifts when a series of bodies are discovered. Stranger, the timeline for the murders matches that of her patient's sleepwalking episodes. With the body count rising and threats mounting from all sides, Maggie is running out of choices and time. Seems that Maggie's next on the kill list, and only one thing connects her victims: her patient, with his head full of secrets, his fingernails dark with blood. So see, it sounds really cool, at least if you're into those sorts of books. Alright, I said it has a lot of suspense, but maybe it's just 2 suspense. Maybe I looked at a lot, but narrowed it down to 2. I think maybe that's what it was. I don't know. The next one, though, is by very big author Dean Koontz, and this is The House at the End of the World. And it says, soon, no one on Earth will have a place to hide in this novel about fears known and unknown. In retreat from a devastating loss and crushing injustice, Katie lives alone in a fortress-like stone house on Jacob's Ladder Island. Once a rising star in the art world, she finds refuge in her painting. The neighboring island of Ringrock houses a secret government research facility, and now 2 agents have arrived on Jacob's Ladder in search of someone or something they refuse to identify. Although an air of menace hangs over these men, an infinitely greater threat has arrived, one so strange even the island animals are in a state of high alarm. Katie soon finds herself in an epic and terrifying battle with a mysterious enemy, but Katie's not alone after all. A brave young girl appears out of the violent squall. As Katie and her companions struggle across a dark and eerie landscape, against them is an omnipresent threat that could bring about the end of the world. So, it's suspense, but it also sounds like it has elements of something else. But with government interactions, who knows? Alright, I think after those suspense, we should go over to our one sci-fi of the week. And this is actually a second book. And this is the one that I said was a little bit different. The first book is now available on Kindle. I think there was physical and audiobook. But the second one, it's coming out this week, and it is only available as an audiobook. And I thought that was different. I've not seen many that are only audio released before all other formats. But it is about a group of physicists at the end of the world, and that's why it sounds so cool. So the second book is called Earthside, and it's the Quantum Earth series, book 2. The first book, though, is Outland, and it's when Yellowstone supervolcano erupts is up to 6 college students and their experimental physics project to prevent the end of civilization. When an experiment to study quantum uncertainty goes spectacularly wrong, physics student Bill Rustland and his friends find out that they have accidentally created an interdimensional portal. They connect to Outland, an alternate Earth with identical geology but where humans never evolved. The group races to establish control of the portal before the government, the military, or evildoers can take it away. Then everything changes when the Yellowstone supervolcano erupts in an explosion large enough to destroy civilization and kill half the planet. The team has just hours to get as many people as possible across to Outland before a lethal cloud of ash overwhelms them. So, yes. And in the second book, it is dealing with the after effects, of course, of the volcano and this new world and trying to survive. So it does sound quite intriguing. I like those sorts of books. And this is by Dennis E. Taylor, who actually, it says, is a computer engineer himself, and he writes other sci-fi books. Like, he actually has a pretty decent sized list of books that he's written, and they are all sci-fi based. So now though, we will move along into fantasy. The first one I'm not entirely certain that it is fantasy. I have genre listed as question mark. I think though it's based in the YA age range. But this is Soul of a Raven by Catherine Bloor. When Saren discovers a hidden family manuscript, she has no idea what she has set in motion. The old pages reveal the bewildering tale of an ordinary Victorian girl, Wren, who was given an enchanting pendant that changes her life. Saren reads all night, compelled to discover the fate of her ancestor. Will Wren fulfill her destiny to protect the cursed London Stone, like the witches before her, or will the relentless Raven Man be her downfall? Will she lose everyone she ever loved? Will she lose herself? As Saren reads Wren's tale, strange things start to happen. She begins to believe she may have unleashed dormant dark magic upon herself. This is a gothic tale of magic, myth, family secrets, love, and revenge. It's a tale of extraordinary hidden beneath ordinary Victorian lives. Sorry, the words at the end there just did not want to come out. So see, it sounds YA, maybe range, and it has magical, mystical elements. So maybe it's fantasy, maybe it's just more of light magical realism. Hard to say. Our next one is actually for sure YA fantasy, and this is the one that I think is coming in the furry loot box for January, I think. Still hasn't, shipped yet, so there's that. But this is Spice Road by Maya Ibrahim. In the hidden desert city of Kuala, there is a secret spice magic that awakens the affinities of those who drink the Misera tea. 16-year-old Imani has the affinity for iron and is able to wield a dagger like no other warrior. She has garnered the reputation as being the next great shield for battling jinn, ghouls, and other monsters spreading across the sands. Her reputation has been overshadowed, however, by her brother, who tarnished the family name after it was revealed that he was stealing his nation's coveted spice, a telltale sign of magical obsession. Soon after that, he disappeared, believed to have died beyond the Forbidden Waste. Despite her brother's betrayal, there isn't a day that goes by that Imani doesn't grieve him. That makes sense. But when Imani discovers signs that her brother may be alive and spreading the nation's magic to outsiders, she makes a deal with the council that she will find him and bring him back to Kuala, where he will face punishment. Accompanied by other shields, including Ta, a powerful beast seer who can control the minds of falcons, she sets out on her mission. Imani will soon find that many secrets lie beyond the Forbidden Waste and in her own heart, but will she find her brother? So, it's got layers of interest. I'm not entirely sure for myself, but it does sound intriguing. It's definitely a different sounding story. I don't know. We shall see. Our next book is in the epic fantasy genre. Words. And this one is also a sequel. Things you don't hear about until you go specifically looking for new books, right? And this is Adul Sin by Daniel T. Jackson, whose name made me think of Stargate. But the first book in this series is Illborn. And yeah, so the first book summary is: long ago, the Lord Indiol emerged from the deserts of the Holy Land, possessed with divine powers. He used those to forcibly unite the peoples of Angal before his ascension to heaven. Over 800 years later, in a medieval world which is threatened by war and religious persecution, 4 young men and women begin to develop supernatural abilities. These forbidden and secret powers will shatter the lives that they have known, and will force each of them to confront the mystery of the eternal gate which haunts their dreams, though ethereal gate. What does a dream mean, and how is it connected to their burgeoning abilities? As they experience conflict, love, and betrayal in lands which are being overtaken by war, they must stay ahead of and survive the sinister forces which are now pursuing them, for they are being hunted. So it sounds interesting, and the second book, though, is of course the one that I found first, and that will deal with what happened here, some fallout, some asides being taken, lines drawn. Intriguing. So this one sounds like, while it is magical and stuff, it does sound like it will have some politically plots going on in it. And our last one is another fairy book, but different. It's listed as fantasy, though I think it might be in that new adult range, maybe. And it's called The Claiming. This is by J.A. Nielsen. Spence is the unfortunate younger son of Lord Furze, with a growing talent for magical arts and a larger talent for finding trouble, most often in the form of botched spells. Dewey is a fey princess who tends to disappoint her aunt, the Summer Queen, through her carefree life choices. A chance encounter and another botched spell leave Spence bonded to Dewey and able to control her will, but it's a violation of magic, not to mention devastating to fey-human relations. To free Dewey and save Spence's kingdom, they must journey through fairy territories, facing feral magic, treacherous wilderness, and their own distractible hearts, unless that's just the effect of the claiming. So the description does not give much, so it sounds, though, like it will be a nice little book. Probably a little book. I don't know how many pages this is. This has just been a list of some of the intriguing books that are coming out this week. There are, of course, so many published every single week, but I hope that you found something cool that you would like to pick up, or it is now on your radar to find. And next week, I hope you would come back, because there are definitely some that are coming out at the end of the month that sound really good and were on my anticipated releases list. I have reviews, unboxings, and general bookish videos like this video in particular that came out Saturday, that hopefully you will go check out. And if you're not subscribed yet, hi, I'm Morgan, and please consider subscribing. That way you can join us for next week's new releases and all future review videos like that one. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I hope you're finding something awesome to read today. Bye guys.